So I'm back with another video, and this video is going to be a bit different compared to the other videos that I've been releasing on this channel, because I wanted to make kind of a longer video that is more detailed on the process from actually starting to getting to a point where you're happy with how much money you're making and how the journey could look for you the first couple of months. I'm going to go in more into detail in this video, but I'm also kind of expecting you to know the very basics of what SEO is and the concept of casino affiliate marketing. And if you don't do that, maybe you pause this video and you go back to the earlier videos on this channel to kind of get up to speed on the whole process. So if there's something that you don't understand in this video, I encourage you to just pause the video and go to YouTube and search for the problems you might have, or go to Google and also search for problems there, because it's kind of important for you to understand every step, not just rush into things. So the timeline here is very arbitrary. It depends on who you are, how much time you have, and how much time you're willing to spend on this. So the whole concept is going to look like this. I go through days and the months and the weeks of the steps that I think you should take to reach your desired income and desired traffic and the results that you might be looking for. So I'm going to start here at day 1, and I'm going to unmark these. And the first step you should do is to decide to get started. I mentioned this a lot in my videos, and I still think it's very important to actually decide to get started. So if you're stuck in this kind of limbo phase where you're doing some research and you kind of are 1 foot in, 1 foot out on what you want to do, maybe you want to do something else, maybe some other type of online marketing. But if you're really serious about doing casino affiliate marketing, you actually have to get started. And this is going to get started here in day 2. The first step I would do is to find another website that is performing well based on search volumes and how the content looks and the user experience and the user interface. Use a website that you feel like, I would be happy having this website myself. So this is the first thing you should do. So let's say you go here to Google and you search for something, whatever it might be, just to find a lot of different casino affiliate websites. For example, here you can go here, you can go here. I'm going to use in this example this website, because this is a website I created myself for my course. So in the course, I actually built this whole website, and maybe it's not the best website, but for me, this absolutely fulfills the purpose of having a casino comparison website, because it's very easy. The interface is easy. The casino listing is simple, and it's easy for the visitors, just straight to the point, just go to a casino, because that's what we want. We want a really short user journey. You want them to come to the website, and you want them to click here, 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 or whatever casinos you might have here. So we're going to use this as a template, kind of, just to talk about. It looks like this, super simple, super easy. You can set up a website like this pretty fast if you know what you're doing, or if you are dedicated enough. So this is the second step here, to find a website that you like. And then you have to pick a market to work in. Obviously, you can also do kind of like an international website where you're targeting many markets at the same time. I wouldn't suggest this, or I wouldn't recommend it, rather. I would pick one market that you're comfortable with. And I would base this on what country you're from. Let's say you speak Spanish. You can do the Spanish market, or you can do Argentinian market, or whatever market that speaks Spanish. If you're French, you can do the French market. If you're German, you can do the German market. If you're Portuguese, you can do the Brazilian one or the Portuguese one. And if you're English speaker, like most of us are, like bilingual, you can do any type of market that is speaking English. For example, the UK, you can do Australia, New Zealand. You kind of get what I mean. So here you should put in some work to actually find a market that works for you, because some markets are actually pretty bad. So you should actually kind of ask someone. Maybe you can ask me, you can ask in the comment section, or you can go to school.com and find CasinoAffMastery, because in that group you can just message me privately immediately, and I reply to everyone pretty fast. And I've already helped people get started with choosing their first market based on kind of what they want to do. So this is day 1. I would do these steps here. And on day 2, we do these 4 steps. We will buy a domain, we will buy a hosting, we will buy a WordPress theme, and then we connect them together. Or you can create a staging website like this one. This is not live anywhere. This is just a WordPress staging website that I've staged on Cloudways. You cannot find this in the search results anywhere. Obviously, you can go here if you want and check it out. So this is the step, and I would go to VPX. Whoops. VPX.net. I will go to VPX.net, because here you can buy domains, and you can also buy hosting, WordPress hosting here. So here, you should find a domain name that you like, because that's what I always do. I just find a cool name that I really like. And after that, I would search for it to see if it's available. Casino Wow Guru Guy. Yeah, it's available. If you want to buy this domain, .com. I recommend you to buy a .com domain, but it could be any domain you want. But this is what I would recommend, because people trust these domains more. There's kind of basically 3 different types of domains that you should look for. One is the branded one, which is basically use a name. It can be whatever you want. Let's go to the search result to see if we find one. 32red, for example, is a branded domain. Let's see if we find another one. Probably not. And then we have, it could be like, I think Boyoko is a big one. Ask Gamblers. This is actually an operator, but who cares? So this is the branded domain names. I really like this because they are kind of stand out a bit compared to the other ones. Then you have like sub-branded domains. I don't really know what to call them, but they have kind of a mix of both, and these are really common. For example, we go here, CasinoAlpha.com is kind of half branded because it has casino, but also have alpha. We have Casino Guru, for example, is also a good example. There is a mix of them. King Casino Bonus is also a kind of a good mix. And then we have the exact match domains, which is basically best UK casino, for example, because it has the exact keywords in it. It can be onlinecasino.com. Yeah, you kind of get what I mean. It could be bestbonuses.com. Usually a lot of these domains are already taken. People are using this a lot, but I don't really like them. It's pretty boring to have, and people really debate if it helps or not. But this is what something a lot of people do. They use an exact match domain. The only thing I would discourage you from is to make one that is too long, like best online casino bonuses in UK. You know, Google don't really like long domains. That's already proven. I think they said it themselves, even like, don't make a domain too long. It's too hard to remember. So that's that. Yeah, and then you have to buy a hosting. And here on VPX, you can also buy a hosting together with your domain. Let's say you want to register this. And here you can also actually choose to add hosting to your domain. And it's pretty cheap. See here. See, it's $20 a month, which is basically nothing. You can go with this one, it's fine. You don't need like the more expensive ones. You can also go to Namecheap, which is also a register I really like. I actually use this for my domains. So here you can do the same thing. You can go to hosting. You can buy WordPress hosting here. So then you get WordPress automatically. You don't have to do anything. You can even try it for free here, which is pretty nice. And when you've done that, you have to get a WordPress theme, because WordPress is the platform that we use to build our website inside of. There's a lot of different ones that you can use. For example, Squarespace or one.com, and I don't really know the name of all of them, but they are like usually very bad. WordPress is the one that most people are using to build SEO websites. And it's going to look like this basically. Here's WordPress. And here are like where you build your pages. And here you find the themes, because this is the next step. You have to buy a theme. Basically, you can get a lot of free themes from WordPress here, but I don't recommend using them, because usually either they are like, they give you some things for free, but then you have a paywall, so you just have to pay anyway, or they're kind of bulky, they're not really optimized enough. I'm using GeneratePress, and this is by far my favorite themes out of all of the ones I've tried ever. So GeneratePress looks like this, and it's also pretty cheap. You do spend $60 here, and just keep in mind that you have to spend money to make money. This is just kind of how it works. And if something is free, usually it's not that good anyway. I would get GeneratePress because it's very easy to build a website inside of also. And they have a lot of help videos here to get started. Also on YouTube, you can just go like how to build a GeneratePress website, and you just follow these steps. So yeah, you just go here, you search for GeneratePress here. I already have it, so it's already here. I install it, I activate it. Let's use this page for an example. I go here, and here is where I edit the page. For example, I just add some text here. I add a table you can see here. You can make an easier table than I did. This is just one that one of my developers made for me. So you can also hire someone to do one. This is pretty easy, the one I have, so I really like it. And then it's just basically use text and headers and some photos. and some other things here, pros and cons like this. Because I really encourage you not to overdo this stuff, because you can get stuck in this phase of building a website and you're spending too much time building a website that looks really amazing, but you should actually focus on getting the visitors to your websites rather than making the most amazing website. It's just going to take you like time and effort from doing the things that actually matters, which is getting traffic and to work on your SEO. So this is really nice WordPress theme. And then the next step is to connect them together or create a staging website, which this one is. As you see here, it doesn't really exist anywhere. It's just like staging. And these are like, it could be actually pretty good to create a staging website first, because then once you launch your website, you're going to have a lot of pages and it's going to make it easier for Google to index your website once you get started, instead of creating a website that is kind of empty. And then Google index it and then don't really find any information. So then they wait to go back and index your website again. So just launch a website with a couple of pages is something that I usually just recommend. It's super easy also. You just go to BPX and use the customer service as much as you can, because usually the customer service is really nice. They just play it as dumb as you can and they will help you with basically everything you need. They have a really fast response time and they're really friendly always. So this is day 2. Obviously, like I said, this might take longer, it may take faster, depending on how much time you have and how much dedication you put into this and how much like previous knowledge you have. But this is pretty cool actually. Let's say we are at the end of day 2 and we already have a live website. Obviously it's not gonna look that great, but you actually have a website. So you have already made the micro conversion into starting, because now kind of as, because now maybe you reach this point of no return. Now you cannot go back anymore. So I think this is pretty smart to do to create affirmative action. Then we have day 3 to 5, and let's do like this. Try to mimic what that website looks like without obviously copying it. You can copy code from a website, but I don't recommend it because it's unethical. Let's say we are at this website and the other website. You can actually go here to customize. In here we can decide anything we want on the website. For example, site identity. Here we have the logo. Just create a super simple logo. You can use Canva, so you can use Photoshop. You can even just do a normal text. Yeah, like here. You can just remove this and then you're going to have the site title somewhere. I don't really know. Yeah, like this. It's pretty ugly. Just create a super simple logo. It's super easy. Or just hire someone from like Fiverr or whatever to pay them $5 to make a logo for you. And when you're here, you can go back. You can go to the layout. You can go to the header, for example. And you can change stuff here. Just find a video that goes through all of this stuff, or go to the school.com community, because in that course I have everything laid out step by step, exactly how I built this website. And then, for example, here you can go to the colors to choose your color scheme. For example, in the header here, I'm using this color. You can use this color or whatever, whatever color you want. So this is what you should focus on. Obviously, I don't want this, so I'm going to disregard it. This is something that you should try to do on day 3 to 5. Start from the really basics with this color scheme. Try to choose a font that you like. Try to make the menu like this. Obviously, add the logo. And then I should write down all of the main content of the pages of a website. Let's use this one as example again. What I have here is I have a news page, I have a contact us, I have one about the author. The author is called Bastian Yeber here, by the way. It's pretty cool. 100% AI guy. Then we have about us, we have an advertiser disclosure, editorial principles, and we mainly create all of these pages to build trust with Google, to make Google believe that we have a website that actually has a lot of trust. And it's a real website with real people behind it that are like really catering the users with the information here. So we have privacy policy, and then we have all of the other pages here. For example, the money pages that it's called, the pages that we are going to use to rank the website. Because we don't want to rank a website for responsible gambling, we just want to use it as trust. And then you should also write down the top 5 pages that a website is using. For example, for this one, it could be online casinos, casino bonuses, free spins, and slot bonuses. You don't have to create these pages yet. I just wanted to have like an overview for you to know what kind of needs to be done in the next step. And then you have to create an author and a concept for the website. It's pretty important to have an author. You can create it however you want, because Google wants there to be a real person behind a website. where here we have him. Obviously, he's like a fake guy. You can use yourself, you can use another person, you can use a content writer, or you can just create up a fake persona like this. Everyone is doing it, so I don't mind doing it myself. So this is day 325. And here already we come pretty far, because now the website should look a bit better. Obviously, you're not going to have a lot of text on it, but you have the like basic idea of how the website should look. Now we're here at week 2. So let's see, I actually forgot what I put here, but so here's when you start doing your keyword research. Keyword research is when you are looking up the keywords or the phrases that you put on your website that you want to rank for. For example, if someone, let's see here, if someone search for best UK casinos, you want to have best UK casinos in the titles, for example, like this, and also on the website. I think I have an example here. I put the keywords here. I put the keywords, let's see here, put the keyword here, put the keyword here. You understand what I mean? Just trying to figure out what keywords you want on the website. And I wrote the avalanche method here because there's actually a lot that goes into keyword research, so you should not underestimate how important it is. I wrote here the avalanche method. I also talk about this a lot in the course because this is a method I'm using a lot on new websites. It basically means that you start with easier keywords with lower search volume, so that you actually can start seeing some traffic coming in. Because if you try to start ranking for UK online casinos, for example, it's going to be very hard because there's already big websites that are ranking for these keywords. Trying to rank for these immediately is going to be hard, and you're not going to get any traffic, and it's going to demotivate you. So try to find a bit more like long-term keywords. So for example, it could be slot bonuses for Big Bonanza, which is a slot machine. So that could be easier to rank for, but obviously it's less people that search for it. So this is a great way to start your keyword research, to find these more long-tail keywords. You can even go to other websites to see what type of keywords they are ranking for, and try to take the ones that you feel like are a bit less searched for, but are a bit easier to rank for. The avalanche method is not my method. It's actually a method by authority hackers, a guy named Matty that I'm actually following a lot. So you can also Google this avalanche method. Let's do it. So let's Google it. SEO avalanche method. See if they have any information about it. Yeah, so basically it's you targeting keywords within the current traffic tier, which basically means that the less traffic you have, the easier keywords you try to rank for. So yeah, you can just Google around and read about this method because I think it's very useful in the beginning. And here we also have to create a topical map and start to do some keyword clustering. And a topical map is where you outline your content on a website. That could look something like, let's say you're ranking for online casinos, you're ranking for casino bonus, and you're ranking for free spins. Under here, you want supporting content for these articles. So let's say you're ranking for casino bonus. You also want to rank for no deposit casino bonus. You want to rank for example, high roller casino bonuses. You want to rank for slot machine casino bonuses and stuff like this. And if you're ranking for free spins, you also want to rank for no deposit free spins with fast withdrawals, free spins for different types of online slots. So this is also very important to create this type of topical map. Here we have online casinos. You also want to rank for like minimum deposit online casinos, for example. You want to rank for casinos with fast withdrawal. It could be anything like casinos with low deposit limits, whatever. So this is kind of how to create a topical map. And Google really likes you to have a lot of different content to show Google and to show the audience that you are very experienced in the whole topic of this. You can even create a guide, for example, how to play blackjack, or you can create a guide about how does roulette work, or whatever, like informational content to kind of cover a huge amount of information on online casino, because this is something that Google is going to like. So obviously you have to create a topical map better than this one. Maybe I'm going to do a whole video about keyword clustering and topical mapping because it's very important to do. But mainly you shouldn't overcomplicate it either. Just try to make the content that makes sense for you. So here you line out your content plan. So let's say you put your main content categories. So let's say you still have to make your like kind of pillar posts, or whatever you want to call them. Even though you're not trying to rank for them immediately, I still think you have to create them because they are really good to have. So let's say you create 4 categories: online casinos, free spins. And keep in mind, I'm making it super general and super basics here. You don't have to follow this at all, or shouldn't. You should create your own. And so let's do like this. These are 4 articles that you're going to create. So this is part of your content plan. And under here, you should create all of the other articles or pages on your website that you want. Let's go to an example. Here, let's go to gambling.com. And here you say they have casinos. And here they have the other like long tail keywords here. For example, new casino sites, like casinos, highest pacing casinos. And then you can go to slots, and they have like slot sites, slot games, best slot games, jackpot slots, free spins. You can go to poker here. They have different types of long tail keywords on poker, bingo. They have different type of strategy pages. So actually you can go to gambling.com or whatever and use like, take some of these examples they have. Would be good to create a content plan. This is how a content plan could look. Or maybe you don't need this one, but you understand, just like create a content plan here. Maybe create 5 each year. It should be enough, or even less. So this is a content plan. Obviously, you can see here that I'm doing everything pretty simple and pretty basic. And that's kind of the idea. The idea is to get started, and then you're going to make mistakes and whatever along the way. But this is what I would do. I would try to do everything in my power to get started. So this is how you line up your content plan. And then we go to day 3. And on day 3, we start creating your main content pages, and we start creating a homepage. So what I mean with this is that we should create a homepage. So a homepage can be pretty basic. For example, here you just have welcome people to the website. I write a bit about what the website is about and some of the disclaimers, and we do on testing use. Just adding a lot of information here. Even add a list here. I write a bit about what type of content you can find on the website. For example, here I have this article here, and I write a bit about it. Then you can read more about this article here, and then you go to the actual page about this. You should also try to write, for example, about us page, to try to make up some information about your company. You should create like a blog page here. You can do that. And you can create a contact us page like this. Stuff like that's pretty important. And this you can do yourself. You don't really have to hire someone to do this. Just write whatever you want. And then you should hire 1 to 3 content writers for a test task and have a pretty short deadline, depending on how fast you want to do this. But they obviously use the writer or the writers that you like the most. And then you have to kind of share the content plan with them, but give them a pretty easy article and give the same article to all of them so you can see which one you like the most. Because having really good content is actually super important. You can find writers on upwork.com. This is where I find all of my writers. Hopefully you're going to have like this main content and 1 to 3 writers that actually started working on the content on week 2, day 3. On day 4, you should start setting up your social profiles. And social profiles are, let's say you create a Facebook account for your website, you create an Instagram, you create a Twitter, you create a LinkedIn for your author, for example, because it's pretty important for you to already send some trust signals to Google that your website is actually a real company that has all of these other social signals and platforms. And I talk a lot about this in my other SEO videos, so I'm not going to really explain too much about why you should do this. Maybe you should pause the video and go back to the other videos about SEO. And the reason we do this pretty early is because we want to start getting these social signals pointed to our website as fast as possible. So I felt like after day 3 and when you're waiting for this content, you can start doing some stuff like this. You can also maybe like finish the stuff here that you haven't done, or like I said before, whatever order you want to do these things in is completely fine, however you want to do this. But here I think it would be a good day to start setting up some social profiles. And then we have day 5 here. You should review the content writers and keep the best, or all, or some, or none. Hopefully one of them are good. And the content that they started to write, you should start adding it on the website. I think that's week 3, so I'm going to wait a bit. Then we have to create a comparison table, because that's like kind of the bread and butter for a casino comparison website. Mine looks like this. I think it's pretty simple and pretty basic, because I have a theory that if you put too much information on your own website about the casinos, you're kind of losing the incentive of the person to go to a casino from your website. So it could be pretty good to don't give them too much information, because then they have to go to the casino to find the information. And then once they click here and they sign up to the casino, you are getting the commission from the casino. The only thing you want them to do is to click here, because then if they do a deposit, you get your commission. Obviously, like I said, you can create one that looks however you want, or you can hire someone to do this, because that could be pretty nice. Just find someone at Upwork or at Fiverr or whatever, or just YouTube it or Google it. You can even use ChatGPT to create comparison tables like this. And then you should add 3 to 5 casinos, without, like I did here. These are not affiliate links. I just added 3 random casinos to make it look like this website is like operable, that it's already started working, because obviously I don't work with anyone. I just added the logos from these random casinos here. And I'm going to explain to you why I'm doing this a bit later. But this is what you should do on day 5. And then we are at week 3. Day 1. And I think a lot of things are starting to happen already. We're working hard, hopefully. This could be week 2 for you or week 5. And then you should create one really good main content money page, because this is the one that you're going to copy to your next pages. And the reason why you want to make this really good is because if you make an error on this one, or if there's something that you want to change in the future, you might have to go back to all of them and change the same thing, depending on your layout with WordPress, obviously. But I created one here that looks like this. I add the content here, the table of content, the keywords, a table here, added some pros and cons thing here. I added a FAQ here, stuff like this, the conclusion here. So this is very important to have a really good one, because once you've done that, you can just go here, and then you can just, which one is it? It's this one. Then you can just go here and clone this one, so you get another one, and then you change the content and just publish the new one. So this is pretty important. And kind of create a checklist of everything that needs to be done. Some examples of this could be, let's go back to this one. Let's say this checks could be, oh, I need to add it. First, I add the title here. I go here, add the keywords here. I need to change the URL, for example, here. That could be a step. I need to change the author here. I need to add a featured image. Could be one of the steps. Obviously, we need some good plugins also. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, but I also have way more videos about this plugins, whatever, in the course where you actually learn everything. This is just me going through the steps. For example, a step could be you have to go down here and change the SEO title and the meta description. So it's pretty important here. You can do this with one of the contents that you got from one of the content writers, to use this as kind of like a template. That's very important, because now we are at week 3 and now things are actually starting to happen, which is pretty fun. And then day 2 to 5. So now that you're waiting for content, start using testing tools to see performance of your website, to see how everything is working. And at the same time, research the best plugins to use for your website in terms of performance, and keep the number of plugins as low as possible to make the website load faster. Because a lot of people in the beginning, including me, just goes here and adds like a lot of different random plugins all the time that you're not going to need. I mean, even I think I have too many plugins here, but some of them are actually used for the comparison table. Some really good ones are Yoast SEO, Yoast duplicate post, so you can duplicate a post. So header and footer core is pretty important. And I'm using Cloudflare here because Cloudflare is a really good CDN service that is completely free. So just go to cloudflare.com. Maybe you don't really have to do this in the beginning, but I still would recommend using Cloudflare. And here we have like the cookie consent button that I have. And here we have the cookie consent pop-up that I have. I'm using auto optimize for cache and other things, which is really good. So this is basically the plugins that I'm using. And obviously it's also different between different websites. I don't really know why, but mainly it's like this concept I have here. Sometimes you're using BP Rocket, sometimes you're using Breeze, which I also really like. So here you should be like on this stage of actually optimizing your website's performance. You can use services such as Google Page Speed Checker. Page Speed Insights is called. And here you can write in your domain, and then it's going to give you information about your performance. You can also use, I'm actually going to give you an example here. Let's use gambling.com. Okay, I'm going to translate this for the non-Swedish people. So, so you can hear their Core Web Vitals is actually not approved, which is actually very bad. So Core Web Vitals, it's a subject of its own. It's basically how Google is assessing your website, how good it is for the user, and for them to find the information on the website. You can use the mobile one and you can check the computer ones. This one is approved. It's actually way easier to get the computer one compared to the mobile one. So I guess it's taking a long time because they have so many issues. But after a while here, you're going to see all of the things that Google don't like about your website, and you can like click show more. And then you're going to see things that they, let's go. For example, here. A lot of things, I mean, you should not have this many things, and you're not going to have this many things if you're using GeneratePress and use the few plugins that I showed you. For example, here. I mean, I don't understand what all of this means, but because I haven't seen this one before. But usually it's way easier things. For example, here, avoid sending older JavaScript to modern browsers. I don't know what it is. Reduce unused JavaScript. This is pretty easy. You just use auto-optimize or whatever plugins that is going to do this for you. Postpone loading of images that are not displayed on screen, which is called lazy loading, and auto-optimize is also using this. It basically means that when you open a website, it's not going to load all of the images at once. It's going to load images once you start scrolling down, which saves like loading time a lot. So this is something that you should use. Then we should connect our website to different tracking tools, such as Google Search Console, Ahrefs Site Health tool, which I'm using a lot because it can give you a lot of good insights in different types of issues you could have with your website. For example, if you have a link that is a 301 redirect, or if you have a 404 link on your website, they're going to show all of this for you. I'm using Plausible, which is an analytics tool that can show you traffic to your website. So Google around on these, like Google Search Console, Ahrefs, and Plausible to find more information about these. I have obviously videos about this also in the course, so I'm not going to talk about it here, because then this video is going to be way too long. But this is what you should focus on day 2 to 5. And this for me is a pretty fun step, because you actually starting to take your website to new levels and to make it really optimized for SEO. And here we have something optional. So let's see what this is. Start setting up some business citations. Yeah, I know I added this because if we are kind of in a rush, we want to set up as many social proof signals as possible for your website to start helping Google index it as fast as possible. And business citations is basically you put a lot of your website's information on different citation websites. So you can also Google use business citations. You can buy this on services such as legit.com or Fiverr or Upwork. You should be a bit careful when you buy this. This is something I could recommend you buying. I'm going to go through backlinks and off-page SEO, I think, in week 4. So let's go to week 4. So now you can start adding content, and make sure your money page is optimized, like I mentioned before, and start adding as much content as you can to start letting Google crawl and index your website. For every new page you add, make sure to put in the correct internal links to help Google easier understand your website content. For example, you put this page here, and then you have different pages with other content. So you should put, I haven't done it here, I think, because this is just like crappy AI generated content as an example. But for example, here is a link to the responsible gambling page. I think I have more of this here. No, I didn't. So this is an interlink or internal link that takes you to the responsible gambling page. So this is something that you always have to learn when it comes to on-page SEO about interlinks. And here also during week 4, you should learn a bit about backlinks, because here we want to send our first backlink to our website. My notion is always that it's pretty good to send like a really strong backlink in the beginning, because it really helps Google crawl your website faster, because then linked use is sent from the website that is linked to your website. So I'm actually going to show you something that I have here. And this is a backlink blueprint by a guy called Matt Diggity. And I really like this guy because he's doing amazing SEO, especially like off-page SEO. You can find this on his website. You get it for free. So basically, this is how I see how a website is created when it comes in terms of backlinks. So that's why we created social profiles here. And then we create business citations. So you can pause the video here and read more about this if you want. Here I have the timeline that I'm actually trying to follow a bit for my own website, because in the initial launch here, we build our social signals, and then we build our business citations, and then we send a link to our money page. A money page is basically a page that we want to rank. I always also send a link to the homepage, because I feel like that's something that is very natural to happen. And then I build some pretty early links on the website, because basically when you start a new website, there might be some buzz about your website. Maybe you create some guest post about your website being newly launched, which is, according to me, is very natural to happen. So you can pause here and also see how I would kind of go about building my website. in terms of how fast I would send new links to my website. So here, repeat week 7 to 12 until out of sandbox. Sandbox is another thing where Google basically puts you kind of in a sandbox before they are ready to show you to many people. So this could take up to 12 weeks. And after that, hopefully, you will start getting your real ranking results. So this is week 4. Starting to research backlinks, starting to understand how to get your backlinks. You can also find people selling backlinks on legit.com. Then again, you have to be cautious about link sellers because you really need to have good quality backlinks. So mainly it's better to do outreach yourself, to contact websites that you want a backlink from. You ask them how much it costs for you to put a backlink there. And if they agree, you basically send them an article that you can write yourself or have one of your content writers write for you. And then you send that article to them with your backlinks inside of the content. And when they post that website, and when they post that page on their website, you basically get a backlink. So this is something you should do at week 4 when you start having some content on your website. And then we have week 5. Obviously, continue adding content and continue doing performance testing. And you can also send your website for review to someone. You can find free audits in many places. In my community, school.com, you can get a free audit if you want, if you join that one. Because I think it's pretty good to have someone else look at your website. Because, for example, I've been in this industry for a long time. So something that's very obvious for me cannot be obvious for you. So let's say I spend 10-15 minutes looking at your website and I can come up with 3 things that could change a lot for you. But it's harder for you to kind of notice. Send some more backlinks to your website while you're adding more content. So now things are starting to get a bit more repetitive. But we have one very important step left. And it starts contacting online casinos. And because this is how we make money, basically. We need to have casinos on your website that are connected to an affiliate network. So we need to find this, and the best way to find this is through Skype. You can also go to an operator, and usually in the footer, they have a link to their affiliate page. And when you sign up, they usually send you an email, and usually in their name, they also have a Skype. So contact them on Skype, because Skype is used in this industry a lot. So this is something you should do, start contacting online casinos. And then start setting up your first affiliate accounts where you can get your tracking links and where you can track performance of your different online casinos. So let's say you want to find 5 casinos in your niche or in your market that you want to work with. A good idea to find these casinos is to also go to other casino comparison websites within your market and see which casinos they are listing to start contacting these casinos. And depending on how new you are at this could take a long time or this could take less time. In the community, we also share a lot of different operators that are working in different markets. So this could also be a way for you to make this process shorter, to basically just go into a casino, ask in the forum like, hey, you started in the German market. Can someone give me an example of some good brands that I can list there? And they will also usually just give you a Skype contact so you can contact them immediately. And you can also get better deals this way with the casinos. I talk a lot about deals in other videos, how to negotiate the best deals for you. But to be honest, when you're this early in the process, maybe you don't have that much negotiation power yet. So yeah, and you continue sending backlinks, maybe 1 or 2 a week or less. It's completely up to you. Some people don't want to send that many backlinks, but basically a rule of thumb is to match the amount of backlinks you're getting with the amount of traffic you have, because that's the most natural way to kind of get backlinks. Don't go overboard with like low quality backlinks. It's better to have a low amount of good quality backlinks than the reverse. And then we have week 7, another repetitive month, because this is basically the work. Like when I work at this is the 3 things I do. I build backlinks, I add content, and I add new casinos. And so now you reach a level where like the groundwork is kind of done. So you start doing these repetitive tasks here, which is pretty fun. So now you're getting into week 8. And here, I actually suggest you to launch your second website, because I think there's a lot of steps in the first 2 months here that you didn't really optimize 100%. So if you start your second website and learn from the mistakes you made from the first one, I think you're setting yourself up for more success if you launch a second website here. I think it's good to have 2 websites, because then if one is performing better than the other, you can kind of just focus on that one. I think it's pretty fun to create new websites. So this is something I would do after 2 months and continue working on both of them. And then week 9. Here you can also do this in week 8 or in week 4 or wherever, but try to join forums, groups, make friends within the industry, make friends with the operators also, and learn what's working for other people. So refine your skills in terms of keyword strategies and brand optimization. Basically, which casinos are working and which casinos you should add on your website. You see here, like, try to get into the community, because this is going to help you so much, because then you don't have to test things yourself. Then you can just ask other people what has been working for them and just do what is working. And here we have week 10. So try to automate the process as much as possible here, because now that you yourself know how things are working, in order to scale and move faster, it's time to outsource some of your work. So this basically means that you're hiring people to do stuff for you. And I only recommend you doing this after you know how to do stuff yourself, because just outsourcing things to other people without knowing how it works, it kind of takes away a lot of the control from yourself. So this is something I always recommend to do. Some suggestions you can do is to find a backlink builder that is helping you find backlinks. Obviously, you are the one that should decide which backlinks you want to buy, but it's pretty nice to have someone sending you suggestions of backlinks that you can choose from. You can do this way earlier also. I mean, I have, I think, 3 backlink builders, because this is something that is pretty boring to do yourself. And you can find someone that does data entry. Maybe it's a bit early for you to do this, but if you have a lot of websites and a lot of casinos and you work in a lot of markets, you want someone else to add the casinos for you on your website, find the bonus information, all of this boring stuff that just takes a lot of time. So I have a data entry team that is doing this for me. You can find a developer that can help you with optimizing your website, helping you with your comparison table, maybe improve some stuff that you didn't like that you created yourself, and just kind of audit your website to make sure that everything is working as good as possible. And here's my suggestion to you: don't hire anyone to do the SEO for you, because this is the bread and butter for your website. This is what you actually should become an expert at, to do the SEO. Because if you hire someone else to do this, it's kind of risky, because let's say they do some SEO technique that is not good and you lose a lot of your traffic on your website because someone else made a mistake. So this is something that I never outsource, like my SEO strategies and my keyword research and my off-page SEO. So this is week 10. Then we have week 11 and 12. So let's see what happens here. Put in the work. Continue with backlinks, continue with content, continue with keyword research, because basically now maybe you already posted all of the content that you had. So do more keyword research, kind of go back and see what worked for you and continue working on the things that are working. I mean, I guess it's pretty boring, but this is like how it works. Then we have week 13. And now you have done 3 months. So once you're closing in on starting to really monetize website, maybe you're not starting to make any money yet, but I call it a hockey stick. Like, you're going to go from not making any money to suddenly like starting to make money. It's going to be like, I see that on all of the websites I create. You like wake up every morning and you have no traffic and you just feel like very discouraged, and all of a sudden it kind of just happens. So you need like an input structure, and you need to negotiate your deals that you have, and you also need to remove underperforming brands in case you have brands that doesn't even get any registrations or any clicks or anything. So this is pretty important to set up your like business structure. I have a whole section of this in the course also. Then you have week 15 to 24. Just optimize your progress, streamline the work tasks. I have even more here. Work smart, not hard. Like I said here, for example, the data entry thing. Don't spend like days doing all of the data entry things. We can hire people pretty cheap to do this for you. So you can concentrate on the SEO, to concentrate on the content planning, and continue to educate yourself. This is pretty important to learn more about SEO, mainly SEO. And also stay up to date with the online casino industry. So let's say there's a new license in a new market or whatever it could be that everyone want to get in. Maybe you want to be early in this market and maybe launch your website and create a new one here. So it's pretty important to just be up to date with the online casino industry. I don't really love the online casino industry that much, but I'm still staying up to date with what is working, and also stay in the forums and in the groups and talk to friends that are doing this to just be aware of what's happening. It also includes being aware of, let's say, a casino kind of shuts down and you are listing them. Maybe it's important for you then to maybe remove them from your website, because they might not be able to pay you if they went bankrupt or whatever. Then we reach week 25, and this is after 6 months. And here, continue optimizing your revenue, get better deals and get better brands. This is a huge part once you have a lot of traffic, because this is actually how you make your money. And also stop everything that is not working. Let's say you have 2 or 3 websites at this point. One of them is doing really well and 2 of them is not working at all. just put all of your focus on the one that is working. There's no need to put focus on anything that is not working. I've done that myself. I think also, I mean, there's some truth in actually giving things some time, especially in SEO. But if you have giving a website 6 months and you have like 1 visitor a day, maybe that website is not going to work. So I think this is a pretty good timeline to give a website, around like 6 months. And if it's not working, it's kind of like, you know, rolling the dice with SEO sometimes. Even if you create a website that is amazing, Google for some reason won't rank it. But you can also create a website that is not that good, and for some reason Google loves it. Don't be discouraged if a website doesn't work. I've created tons of websites that is like, I spend a lot of money on content. They still get no traffic. So I was like, yeah, just can I just delete them or whatever? Redirect them to another website. Continue to educate yourself. Open up your website in new markets, because that could be like a good idea. Let's say you have a website that is already doing well in the UK. You can just open up the same website in another market. That's very common for a lot of people to do. You just create a subdirectory on your website. Let's say you have casinowebsite.com. You can create casinowebsite.com/NL if you want to open in Netherlands, or in D if you want to open in Germany. So, and after this, you just kind of start working. now you're like in the hamster wheel of working with casino affiliate marketing. And hopefully you've learned a lot during this process. And I kind of really love having something like this, because now you have like affirmative action, and now you have something to do every day. And I'm not saying that you're going to be massively successful with this, but it didn't take that much time for me to actually start making a good amount of money. After 6 months, I was already starting to make money. And after 12 months, I was actually started to make a lot of money from this. So don't be discouraged if nothing happens the first 3 months or 4 months or even 6 months. But after 9 months or 12 months, you're actually going to start to see results, and it happens to everyone. I have yet to find someone that has worked with this for a year that is not making any money. So I hope you managed to get through this whole video. It became pretty long, but it was also pretty fun to do, to just kind of ramble a bit and talk about this. And I still want to stress that this is just my own advice. You can do this and you can change the order, you can remove stuff, and you can add your own stuff. I simply wanted to give you an overview of the steps that you can take in order to start making money and to create your website. And if you have any questions, feel super free to contact me in the comment section, or to go to my website, CasinoAffMastery.com, because you're going to find a lot of information there. And like I mentioned, doing this together with other people is so valuable, because it makes the journey so much more fun to have other people to support you and support. And I think also after a while, when you get really invested in this industry, you will want to talk about it a lot. And let's say you're in a community and a new member joins, you're going to want to help them also, because sharing your own knowledge is something that is actually very fun. So that's why I have this whole YouTube channel, because I love talking about this and I love to share like information about this. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. So subscribe to the channel to get updated when I release another video, and I see you soon.